What's up, Thanatos here. Making a new video called the Conclave Warframe Beginner Guide, in my opinion. These are the warframes that I believe that people need help learning how to understand in the Conclave, because certain people, they use their main warframes that they use in PvE. So I'm here to help try to limit that gap so you branch out into other warframes. I'm going to go through all the warframes that are available in the game at the very moment, not counting the primes because they're technically just reskins and just practically the same character, just with a little bit of better stats. So first off, let's go with Inaros. Inaros is very tanky. You can make him extremely tanky in the Conclave. My honest opinion, though, the only abilities you should use is his first and his last. I'm not sure how the other two work, but the first one, you throw sand in their face, right? They're blind. They can't see. Their screen goes black. And on top of that, it will deal health damage. If they have shields, though, be warned, it won't do as much damage. But if you throw it in their face after their shields are gone, it will almost instantly kill them if they have low life. So let's say 30 health left, they'll stand on their face and then they'll die. His ultimate is a little bit tricky to use because you have to use it sparingly because it takes your health away. So in my opinion, how I would use it is that I would try to hide, right? Use your ultimate to the point where you would gain a ton of armor, run around the map, grab all the health orbs, and then do it again and hide. So until you repeat that until you're at 100%, and then you can take like 6, 7, sometimes even more than that of Rubico shots to your face and practically live without even being hurt. So that's Inaros. Inaros is very tanky. If you build him right, he can be a devastating monster in Conclave. Next, we're going to look at Ivara. Ivara is very good as well. Her quiver is very good. Her navigator used to be good, but not anymore. And her Artemis bow is good. Her quiver, she has 3 arrows. She has a cloak arrow, which is, that's from PvE, so that won't really change. But the other 2 arrows will change. She has a encumbered arrow and a no shield arrow. The no shield arrow will take away people's shields. So then you can one-shot people with a Snipetron Vandal, just as an example. And then her encumbered arrow, if you hit them with it, it makes them so they cannot move very well. So they can't slide, they can't roll, and they can't bullet jump. All they can do is run and walk. Her Artemis bow, if you use that right, you can just clear lobbies out just with that ability alone. It takes, I think, 100 energy to be able to use it, but it only takes, I believe, 25 to actually cast, and then every shot after that is 25 energy. For the most part, if all the arrows hit, you're gonna one-shot people. That's Ivara. Her prow is useless. Don't even bother with that. We'll get into the stealthy frames later on, but this one specifically is not useful. Octavia, I can't see use in. Really, the only ability that I see use is, I think it's a mallet. I believe that's the one. I don't know. It's the one that has that ring around it. Can't tell the name of it. I don't remember. But that ability is really the only useful one, because it will negate damage. If you're inside of that ring, it will negate damage. But it's very inconsistent, and I just don't think Octavia is a very reliable frame to use in the Conclave. I think that there's better frames out there than Octavia for Conclave. So my opinion is stay away from her. Next one is Titania. She's alright in Conclave, but she needs more love in the Conclave. She needs buffing. Her Spellbound, I believe, will knock people down. The abilities I would use are her first and I believe it's her first, and her alt, and maybe her third. Whichever one that makes the enemies like float in the air, I would use that one. Her ult, because she shrinks down, so she's really hard to hit, and she has really strong pistols. I believe that's what they are. And her first, I believe, will do a soft knockdown and will take away their weapons. But she's pretty much the same thing as Octavia, not really worth using. But if you want to use her, be my guest. Next one would be Ashe. Ashe is the exact opposite. Ashe is ridiculously good. His shuriken is a great finisher, although you have to aim at your target for your shuriken to hit. His smoke screen is good because he gains more movement speed, and he's harder to see, so you can get out of there really quickly, not even counting his augment that he has in the Conclave, which, if you're close enough, it will blind your opponent. Its teleport is great for teleporting away from targets, or just getting away from a bad situation. And his Blade Storm does ridiculous amounts of damage. That's probably your best damaging ability in Ashe's kit. And then, not even talking about his passive. His passive will make enemies bleed. So if you're using like a Nakana, they will bleed. And then on top of that, he's really fast and he's tanky at the same time. So that's Ashe. I think he's a great Warframe to use in the Conclave. Atlas is good in certain situations. I would say his best feature is his passive, because if you're on the ground, I repeat, on the ground, you can be knocked down if you are not on the ground. That's probably his best thing about him is his passive. Now then, his rumblers are amazing. His landslide ability is amazing, and I believe his Petrify is also good. His landslide is like an Excalibur slash bash. He will punch somebody, and then they can't bullet jump. They can still roll and slide, but they can't bullet jump. His Petrify will freeze people practically. They'll be frozen and they can't move. So you have free reign to do all sorts of damage to them. The Rumblers is really, really strong, especially if you have your augment for Atlas in the Conclave. He himself will turn into a Rumbler, and you can throw rocks and you can ground slam the ground and stuff. And it's just really powerful. He has a lot of armor. He's not invincible in that, but he has well, technically he is, but if you shoot at it for long enough, that armor that he has, or the little Rumbler thing, will go away. So that's Atlas. Banshee is really good too. Banshee's first will knock people down and do small amounts of damage. I can't see a use for sonar, because you just see enemies, and there's other mods in the Conclave that already do that. So in my opinion, sonar isn't really that helpful. Then there's silence. Silence will take away abilities. So if you're about to get slash dash, you just use that, and no more slash dash. It will also get rid of duration-based abilities. So stuff like Chroma's Vex Armor will be taken away. Stuff like that will also, it's just really useful in that sense. Soundquake is a very damaging ability, but it has limited range. So that's Banshee. It's just a very solid choice. Chroma, there's only two good abilities for Chroma. His third, Vex Armor, and his final, Effigy. And his first, sorry, there's three, my bad. Let's start with Spectral Scream. Depending on the energy color that you currently have equipped, it will freeze people. It will do shield damage, it will do health damage, and it will just do overall damage. So if you use ice, it will freeze them. If you use toxic, it will go straight to their health. But be warned, if you're going to use toxic, you have to watch out for frames like Inaros and Nidus that only have health. The shocking one, I believe, has the longest range. And the fire one, well, let's be honest, the fire one's kind of not very good in the Conclave. But all the rest of them are pretty good, except for maybe the electric. His third ability, Vex Armor, he will gain armor if you hit his shields, and he will gain damage if you hit his health. So by the time you get down to his health, he's going to be super tanky and really annoying to kill at that point, and he's probably going to like one-shot or two-shot you with whatever weapon he's using. His effigy, if you place it in the right room with like a bunch of people, you can get multiple kills because on how the effigy works. And if you have either toxic or ice, you will just kill everybody there. It's insane. That's Chroma. Next is Ember. Personally, I don't like the look of regular Ember, but you know, whatever. Her Fireball is a great finisher. It tracks, it does great damage, and it burns targets if they're not dead by the impact damage. Her Accelerant will stagger enemies and will make your enemies weaker to fire damage. Her Fire Blast is probably her best ability because it has such a wide range. So if you place it down, it has this AoE like shockwave effect, and then on top of that, the ring is still there, so if people walk into that ring, they'll take damage. Wood on Fire is okay, but it just drains your energy too fast, and I haven't used her since the rework of Ember, so maybe it's not as good as it once was before, but I have no idea. I haven't messed around with Wood on Fire yet. But Fire Blast and Fireball are amazing abilities for Ember. Xbox actually is infested with embers. Equinox is alright. Her first, when she switches between day and night, I believe it's day? No, it's night. When she switches, no, it's day. Sorry, my bad. It's day. When you switch from night to day, her day form will increase damage. I don't remember what night form does. I really don't. I'm not too keen on Equinox. I'm not too knowledgeable about her. Her rest, she can put people to sleep, but be warned, if you do use that, you will have to wait until your target's awake again before you can damage them. Rage, I believe, increases your damage. No, more vulnerable to damage, so you can two-shot people with Snipetrons and stuff, again, like how they used to be. Pacify and Provoke. Pacify will, in night form, will reduce damage, okay? And, okay, I don't see a use for that one. Pacify and Provoke, I really don't see a use in it. And I don't see a use in Mended Maim. But her passive seems pretty useful. Health orbs generate a little energy, while energy orbs a little health. That really sounds useful. Like I said, if I am sounding like a noob about Equinox, it's because I practically am. I don't use Equinox very much. Next is one of my personal favorites, Excalibur. He is amazing for Conclave. His Slash Bash will impair enemies and do damage. Impair as in they can't bullet jump away. His Radial Blind will stun enemies and will, as it says, blinds enemies as well. I don't see use in his Radial Javelin. Just too long to initiate it, so you're gonna die before you can kill anybody. His Exalted Blade is really strong. If you channel with it and air slash with it, you can practically one-shot people. He's a balanced frame overall, obviously, and he's just a great frame overall to use in the Conclave. He deals extra damage with swords and attacks faster as well. So he's just an overall great character to use. Frost is very good as well. I would say all of his abilities, except for maybe Avalanche, are really good. His Freeze will do damage, just like how Ember's Fireball does, except instead of burning them, it will leave them with a Frost proc, which it will slow them down. Ice Wave will have a bunch of ice shards coming out of the ground, damaging enemies and freezing them, initiating them with a frost proc again. Snow Globe will have a globe, obviously, and will freeze enemies, or not freeze, but slow them down if they're inside it. Also, if you use freeze on the snow globe, it will blow up the snow globe and will knock down any enemies that are around it. His avalanche, if used right, can be very strong, but you have to use right since it takes a long time to cast. But it does a lot of damage, and for the most part, if somebody gets caught in it, for the most part they're going to die, or they're left with like 10 health left. But they're going to die anyway if you're a skilled player, because you're going to find that target and then you're going to shoot them or melee them or do something to kill them. That's Frost. He's a solid choice. Next is Gara. Again, I'm practically a noob with Gara, so I'm sorry if I'm sounding dumb, but her ult, I forget which one it is, I think it's Mass Vitrify, will have the giant wall around her and has a chance to freeze enemies. I believe it has a chance just because when I try to use her, I can never freeze people, but maybe just because I'm not doing it right. I believe it's either her second or her first, which will impair enemies and do glass damage or some sort of damage to them. I don't know which one it is, but one of them does. And again, I'm not very good. I don't really understand Gara because she's kind of new. So sorry about that. Next is Haro. Haro is good because of his first. That's the main reason. Because he throws chains at people and they're practically impaired. All they can do is run, slide, and roll. It's just a great ability. His second can also be useful with assault rifles, so stuff like the Latron Wraith. You can boost your weapon's fire rate, and it's just ridiculous. Oh, that one doesn't seem good. Well, maybe, but no. His other two abilities I don't think are worth it. Thurible and Covenant, I don't think they're really worth it. In my opinion, the best ability on him is Condemn. But he's a solid choice. Hydroid is annoying because you see them everywhere. His Tempest Barrage, I see people use. They just use it like as an airstrike. His Tidal Surge will knock you down and take away shields. So I know somebody on Xbox that does that, and they'll one-shot you with a shotgun afterwards. Undertow, just to get your shield back and to trip people. Tentacle Swarm, just that's kind of self-explanatory. There'll just be a bunch of tentacles everywhere, and you can't do anything about it. His passive, Slime Attacks, will have a chance to spawn a tentacle, but there's no cap on how many tentacles you can have in Conclave, so it's kind of unfair. And they take away a lot of your health and life, and on top of that, you get knocked down, so you're practically going to get one-shotted afterwards. And on top of that, they're really tanky. Limbo is annoying just because of his banish and his cataclysm. If you banish somebody, go into the rift yourself by rolling, and then you have a Snipetron. You can one-shot people while in the rift. It's very aggravating. And his cataclysm just does a lot of damage in Conclave. If you hit somebody with that, they're practically going to die. That's Limbo. Loki, just very aggravating to deal with because of his decoy. Will spawn a decoy, and it's like a turret. It'll do damage with whatever primary weapon you have equipped. His invisibility is just great for getting away. It's not as good as Ash's, in my opinion, in Conclave, but it's great for getting away. He has a switch teleport, which will impair people, and it's practically a great tool just to kill somebody as well, or to get away, if you can land it. Radio Disarm will disarm them, take away some of their shields and their weapons, and it will take away their health, or their energy as well. So Loki, very annoying to deal with. Mag, my opinion, is one of the most overpowered frames in Conclave. Her pull will impair people so they can't really jump away. Her magnetize will place a bubble around them, but will reduce the damage you do to them. But, you know, if you have something like a Karak or a Daravandal, you know, who cares? Pulverize will make Mag regain her shields, and will get rid of some of the enemy shields. Her crush is just stupid because it just kills everything around it. It's just really, really aggravating. That's Mag. Mesa is more balanced than Mag. Her ballistic battery will charge up the more you shoot enemies, and if you have a sniper or something, you could two-shot people. Her shooting gallery will make enemies reload. Her shatter shield will make you harder to kill. And Peacemaker, just stay away from that because it's not really that useful in Conclave, in my honest opinion. Mesa is a very solid choice to use in Conclave, though. Next is Mirage. Mirage, Ribium loves to use Mirage. He traps the health orbs with sleight of hand. And if you're using like a one-shot weapon like an Opticore or Daiku and trap the health orbs, well, you're not gonna really be able to survive because you're gonna be at like 10, maybe 30 health, and sleight of hand booby traps the health orbs, and you'll be down. You know, they do 50 damage when you run out of health orb, so you're dead. Hall of Mirrors can be really annoying if you equip yourself with the right weapons. Eclipse in the light, she gains more damage, while in the shadow she reduces the amount of damage taken, so that's very aggravating. Her prism will practically do a lot of damage, so if you use it in the right situation, you can get multiple kills at the same time, especially if you have her augment, which the prism will follow her. That's her. Next is Necros. Necros is very, very useful because his Soul Punch will knock people down, but you have to get close. His Terrify will reduce people's armor in Conclave. I believe that's how it is. Or they'll just make them more vulnerable to damage. His Desecrate is practically a wall hack. So if you kill somebody, you use Desecrate. Now you can see people through walls with whatever energy color that you have on. Shadows of the Dead, in my opinion, is a waste because all it does is remove the respawn timer. So you can respawn immediately. But that's about it. That's Necros. Nezha is very annoying. Firewalker and Warding Halo are probably the most annoying abilities that she has, or the strongest. Firewalker makes it so that your enemies will take fire damage if they get hit with the Firewalker, and Warding Halo will create a ring around her, or him, sorry, and will do damage to people if you get close to them. The other two abilities I don't think are really that great, except for maybe Blazing Shuriken. That's probably the other one that you might want to use, because it will stagger people, do damage, and if you click the button again, he can teleport where that Shuriken is. Nidus, very aggravating. Very aggravating. His first ability will do damage and will gain stacks, and in Conclave, if you get killed, or would have gotten killed, you don't die. His second ability will limit movement, so all you can do really is run. I don't even know if he can slide. I have no idea. His link is like a Trinity link, which will, if you're getting attacked by a Mios, the Mios user's gonna kill themselves. And Ravenous, well, that you have to be careful about because certain people jump around a lot, so it might not be as effective compared to somebody like a Mios user because of those little larvas. They will jump up and practically insta-kill people if they touch them. The max stacks, I believe, is 3, so you have to keep that in mind. Next is Nova. Nova is great. Her Null Star ability is awesome because it will take away energy and do 10 damage per little ball, but you only get 3, so around 30 damage. You might say, oh, that's not a lot of damage, but it takes away energy as well. So that's why. Her antimatter drop with the augment will have a mine, and if you use correctly, you can kill multiple people with it. Wormhole is practically useless because people will just follow you into it. Molecular Prime is her most lethal ability because it will slow everything down and amplify your damage. And that's everything that your opponent has. Their attack speed with their melee weapon, their fire rate with their guns, their movement, everything is slowed down. Next is Nyx. Nyx, she got nerfed hard with mind control and psychic bolt, so those aren't really useful anymore. Her best ability right now, in my opinion, is chaos, because she can hit multiple people, and this is only in Annihilation. I would not bring her into team, but her chaos will hit multiple people, and they cannot do damage to you, but you can do damage to them. Her absorb will, if you have the augment, will pull people towards her and will do damage if your targets are shooting you at that point. So you can technically insta-kill people, but it's not recommended. Her best ability is chaos. Oberon's passive is the main reason why I like Oberon, because he's immune to slash dash. His smite is useful as a good finisher. Hallowed ground, I'm not sure how that is. Renewal, you can heal yourself. And reckoning, just ridiculous. You just slam people to the ground and do ridiculous amounts of damage, and they're like left with like 30 health left. And if you have something like a Bratton Prime, just shoot them like once or twice and then they die. That's Oberon. Rhino is a great choice as well. His Rhino charge, don't spam that. Please don't spam that. It's just annoying to hear the Rhino noise over and over and over and over and over again, because for the most part, you're not going to hit anybody with Rhino charge. The best abilities are his other three. Iron Skin can save your life. Roar increases your damage. And Rhino Stomp will practically almost insta-kill people, except they'll be at like 10 health, and again, it's similar to Nova's Prime ability. It will slow them down. So that's Rhino. He's a great character, if used in the right situations. Next is Saren. Saren's first and Molt. Well, all of her abilities actually are really good. Her spores can be used to finish someone off. If you hit someone with a Daikyu, you use spores, and then they're practically going to die. Great ability. Molt, if you're getting shot at by something like a Bratton Prime, you use Molt, and it's like a frost shield. Toxic Lash, if you use this with really strong melee weapons, you can practically one-shot people with it. Marasma does straight health damage, so if you shoot somebody and they just gain their health back and they only have like 30 health left, you use that, they're practically gonna instantly be dead. That Saren, she can be really useful if in the right situations. Next is Trinity. Trinity's Link and Blessing are the best abilities. The other two are worthless. Link is like Nidus's Link, except a little bit weaker. She can practically make Neos users kill themselves. Blessing, if you're low life, she can heal herself, and she gains, I believe, armor or damage resistance, one of the two, I don't remember. So she's very strong. Next is Valkyr. This is my Conclave main. Ripline is a great ability because it knocks people down, so then you can shoot them while they're on the ground. Only use that if you have something like an auto, or you can guarantee the kill with a sniper. Warcry will slow people down and increase her armor. So she's harder to kill, but your enemies are easier to kill. Her Paralyze will do a impair, similar to Excal's impair, but it takes a long time to use. Hysteria is great for countering stuff like Neos and stuff like that, because of her slide attack. Her slide attack will practically insta-kill people. But don't spam that. I think it's very annoying when people think they're good, but yet all they can do is spam Hysteria, because all of her abilities are very strong. Volban is very trolly. His Teslas can do damage, and he can have a lot of them out at a time. His Mind Layer is also very annoying because on how many abilities he has, because you can have 3 different ones: Bounce, Trip Laser, and I think Concuss. So you get tripped and magnetic procs by Trip Laser. I'm not sure what the other two do, but Trip Laser is the best one to use. Bastille will slow everything down about everything. Vortex will trip your target, will do constant damage, and will do a magnetic proc. Alright, the next one is Volt. I don't like Volt that much, but I know people who love Volt. His shock is a great finisher. His speed is great for getting away. His electric shield is great for upping your damage with whatever gun that you have equipped. His ult is great for finishing off targets that are all in the same room, because they're more than likely, at least one of them is going to be low health, so then you can kill that person. So yeah, that's Volt. Wukong, it can, 3 abilities of his are decent. His Iron Jab, but you have to be close, kind of like Necro Soul Punch. His Defy is good because you can survive Daiku arrows, but it does drain. It's a drain now. It's not click it and then that's it, and then you can click it again later on. It's now a drain. His Cloud Walker is just useless. Don't even try it. His Primal Fury is like a Hysteria, except it doesn't have as long as range, because I don't see people use it, so I wouldn't know. And then Zephyr is good because of her Tailwind. If you're in the air and if you look downwards, if you have your reticle looking down, you can dive bomb people and it will do damage, and I believe it knocks them down. The Air Burst will throw these like little balls of air, and it will burst and it will knock people down. Her Turbulence, you'll be immune to gun damage. I'm not sure if it's with bows as well, but I know for a fact it's with guns. And her Tornadoes just will devastate anything that come near it, because it will knock you down, it will do continuous damage, and you will get magnetic proc, so your energy will be cut in half. She's a great character overall, but I do not like her what's it called? Her passive. I don't like her passive. I think it's very annoying because of that float thing. I don't like. Now I'm gonna show you some of my builds that I have in Conclave and why I like them so much. The first one is this one. This setup right here is Excalibur and Latron is my favorite setup. I only use the Lacera if people get close to me. It's a great melee weapon. I don't like it when people just run around with it though. It's very aggravating to deal with. Stilettos, because they're a very strong primary weapon, but you can replace these with pretty much anything. So like a Furious would work. Dex Furious are okay. Vipers are great. Like, you can replace that with a different weapon. The Tron Wraith though, that's the main point of this build. The Tron Wraith is extremely good if you have the build I have on it. See right there, you can see Gun Glide, which reduce recoil while sliding. Hydraulic Gauge will reduce recoil, but also reduce your magazine capacity, but it's only about one shot if you have it by the same rank I do. Overview will minus 30% zoom during aim glide, just as a personal thing. But my Electron Wraith isn't that great. If you guys want me to do a actual Electron Wraith build video, once my Electron Wraith is all formatted up and once it's rank 30 and all that stuff, let me know down in the comment section. That's the Electron build. My X-Little build has eject magazine, because whenever I switch weapons, let's say that I just killed somebody with my X-Stilettos and I only have one shot left. I switch to my Latron, and then while holstered, they reload themselves. Night Stalker, if I shoot somebody, they're going to be target on the minimap for a certain amount of seconds. Reflex Saw, I can switch between my weapons a lot faster. Strafing Slide, pretty much the same thing as Gun Glide. Secondary Wind, on kill plus 12.5 reload speed for 1 second, great ability. And full capacity, this will increase your magazine count. That's that. On my Lacera, pretty much all I got is Explosive Demise and Martial Fury. Martial Fury will increase your speed that you swing at. Explosive Demise will make dead bodies explode. The Excalibur build. Now we're gonna go on to my Nova build. My Nova build is very, very strong. It's a Nova Prime, which I do Molecular Prime and the the antimatter mine, and it's pretty strong. I like it like that. Stradivar, because it's a very strong primary weapon, but if you don't have the Stradivar, Bratton Prime would do good, the Tiburon Prime would do good, so normal Soma, I repeat, normal Soma would do good, not Soma Prime, because Soma Prime does less damage. Latron Wraith would do good, pretty much any Latron or Sybaris series would do great. Karak would do awesome. Bratton, Argonac, pretty much any assault rifle would do great with this character. You slow them down, they can't move, you have full auto in your hands, or really fast semi, or burst rifle, and they're dead. Axomati is just a great weapon to use. They're like the Axolotl Primes, do ridiculous amounts of damage. Sanicastanas are also a great choice, but I'm not gonna say that they're easy to use because they have flight speed. On Xbox that might be a different story, but over here they're a little bit different. Furious, Lex, they're all great choices, but for me, Axomati, hands down, is one of the best pistol weapons out there. Then I have my Dagger Zaw, which I don't use unless people get close. If I'm shooting them with a Stradivar and then they're coming close to me, I'll mash my circle button just to kill them because they're stupid and they want to get close. That's my Nova build. Wait, I forgot to show you the mods. With her, I have follow through, surplus diverters, and all the 2 out of the 3 armored mods, because I don't like the other one because it reduces speed, or reduces your slide. I don't like that. So I got those 2 on to increase my tankiness. Overcharge detectors because I want to see who has full energy on my minimap. Tempered Bound to increase my shields. Antimatter Mine because it will practically what it does is that it creates a actual mine, right? And people who walk in it will explode and they'll have like 10 health left, and all you need to do is really put 1 Stradivar bullet into them and then they die. Final Act, on low health, it increases my maximum, or my ability strength and my casting speed, so I'll be able to use abilities faster. That's that build. My Stradivar build is Comet Rounds because it doesn't really have that much impact. Plus you need to get past that shields. Gun Glide, Def Tempo, Maximum Capacity, Twitch, and Tactical Reload. I'm not going to go through all my builds because pretty much they're all practically the same setup for the most part. Just on how I use them it's different. So that's that build. Next would be my Valkyr build. Valkyr, this one's my main build. Okay? This one right here, and I need to get rid of that. That is disgusting. This build is pretty much the same, except I don't have her augment on because I need to form her. But everything else is pretty much the same except for this one. This is Anticipation, immune knockdown for additional 4 seconds after being knocked down, and immune to stagger after 4 seconds after being staggered. So if somebody likes to spam slash, just equip that, rebuild with this on, and well, they can't really do much. Surplus Diverters will gain 6 energy upon replenishing shields after they have been deactivated. Follow through, you will respawn with 10 energy after you respawn. So that's very helpful ability, or not ability, mod to have. Tiburon Prime is a great weapon because it has 3 fire modes. Semi is kind of useless in Conclave, but the other 2 are amazing, especially auto. Very strong weapon. I have Gun Glide, Combat Rounds, Maximum Capacity, Def Tempo, Apex Predator, Twitch, and Tactical Reload on it. I don't really see the point in the mod because it just doesn't do it justice, because when you shoot it slows its fire rate down, and well, you can get killed because of that. Axolotl Prime, they're just a great secondary, just like the Axomatis and the Condi. The Condi is good, but they can be cheap. I will admit that. They are a little bit cheap because if you do that slide attack, if you hit them, it has a chance that you can one-shot people. So if I'm not using this as an air slash weapon, I'll use my Reaper or my Hate or my Anku. All of which are great air slash weapons. Bows are great, like Bow Prime is awesome, and polearms are also awesome. So stuff like the Thibodeau or your own Zod that you made, they're all great. That's that build. I have another I'll show you. I'm not gonna show you my Daiku build because I'm not a Daiku user. I only use Daiku when other people decide to use Daiku. My last one I'm gonna show off here today will be my Ash build. Ash is very unique. I don't have his augment yet, but I will be putting it on once I get it. And pretty much the same build as all the other ones. Electron Wraith, you already seen that. Hindakana, pretty much just because of Ash's passive. Martial Fury for increased attack speed. Relentless Assault for 2 energy rate for 4 seconds. Mortal Conduct at less than 50 health plus 15% damage taken. Reflected when blocking while channeling for 2 seconds. Very useful mod. And Explosive Demise. When you kill somebody with the Nagana, it doesn't matter if it's an air slash or an actual melee kill, their bodies will explode and have the chance to blow up. Well, they will blow up, and has a chance to kill enemies that run by the dead body. So that's just a great weapon to use. It is very good. But that's really all the builds that I have currently. If I update any of my builds, I'll let you know, and I'll tell you if they're worth using or not.